Hey, John.
Hey Eric,
How's it going tonight?
we've got a guest tonight because I'm actually down in California, and a friend of ours and coworker Raj is here. So we were walking over to work today this morning, and he was like, "What are you going to do tonight?" And I'm like, "I got to record tonight." He's like, "I could be on your podcast." I'm like, "Oh hell, you can, you bet. Come on over."
Awesome.
So I think I've just bumped up the reputation for your podcast by about 20% now. Would you say?
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
You lend it some credibility.
Or yeah, I mean, I guess there's two of us, go to three, so it's like 33%,
Yeah.
at least by volume.
As we sit here in my hotel room and both our reputations crash through the floor now, and the rumors on Twitter begin.
And it's not the best hotel in the world, let's just say.
Yeah, we're using the word hotel very loosely.
It is. It is a room to sleep in and appears safe-ish.
But you're dispelling the myth of corporate travel, because I'm in like California, and it's like glamorous. The pool's just outside, the hot tub's here, but I think that's about it, right? I mean, it's like I genuinely feared for my life last night. It's like people were crouching around my room trying to break in.
I don't know about that, but maybe you don't need to be on the first floor. Maybe it's better to be up a couple floors.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to have to bring barbed wire with me next year.
Well, and also, it's technically a motel when the doors are on the outside.
I have learned, because like we don't have motels back in the UK. It's like a bed and breakfast or a hotel. This is this is not something I'm generally used to.
Yeah, it's very close to work.
That's the saving, and it has a pancake house attached to it.
It does have an IHOP,
which is a first for me.
It does. It's good. Yeah, it's good. So thanks for coming on. I don't think we have. Well, we do have a little bit of follow up. Hey Eric, what's our piece of follow up this week?
Well, so I was talking last week about teaching my boy in his technology class, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it was Python.
Wishful
and
thinking.
Turns
of
out
you.
it wasn't Python. It was
JavaScript.
My mistake.
Well, I remember the moment I realized that, because we were walking down the hall and you were like, yeah, I was pointing out to him that he was missing a semicolon at the end of the line. And I think I looked at you and I was like, missing a semicolon, eh? In Python?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was learning JavaScript and I just didn't want to admit it. All right.
So,
well, should we hop right into topics?
Let's do it.
So my topic today was came across this one. It was a emergency directive from the U.S. government about DNS infrastructure tampering, and apparently this has been going around. And so, of course, what greater thing do you want to have than an emergency directive during a big government shutdown, and put day requirements, getting things done during days when everybody's not around,
or when you're not getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna like direct you to do loads of work, but when you're not being paid.
That's right.
That's a great idea. I think we should try that.
I felt really bad, like guilty at coming through airport security, knowing that all of those TSA agents are asked to come to work and are not currently being paid.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to me about airport security.
Okay, I probably don't. But think of them.
I do right. When their definition of random is clearly not random.
Yeah, well, you are a swarthy fellow. You look very suspicious. I need to randomly subject you to security screening
again.
Yeah.
I had to explain to them. I said,
sorry.
Like, it's not random when you stop me every single time. Just an FYI.
Oh, it is hypothetically random. Like, there is a probability that you could get, tails 100% of the time for, 1,000 times in a row.
100% is not random, surely.
I'm saying there is a percentage
Okay.
for which it is possible to roll on flip a coin and get tails every time. But the probability of not doing that, it would be one minus 2 to the n, right?
Is it possible for my son to go to Hogwarts and that would be a higher probability?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. My son's a wizard.
Just have him keep running into platforms.
9 3/4. Yeah. King's Cross.
Yeah, no, that'll be fun. Okay, sorry, Eric. Back to the government directive.
Anyways, DNS infrastructure tampering. So this is an attacker, and they're attacking government websites, U.S. government websites, and an attacker compromises the user's credentials. Somehow they get a hold of the credentials so that they can alter DNS records.
Wait, when you say these are you're saying this is the government directive to the government to change their own DNS records, even though this isn't a government specific problem.
No, it's not a government specific problem, but the attackers have been changing the .gov records potentially, and once they can change the A records and the mail and the name servers, they can create certificates and take control and pretty much own whatever data is going to and redirect traffic for whatever data is going to those government websites.
What year is it? Is it 2019?
I think it is 2019.
Because I thought the Syrian Electronic Army, this was their modus operandi, like going back a few years. I mean, like, it's great to do it.
Are you saying you're shutting the door of the barn?
No, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is an issue and a modus operandi of a major threat group going back multiple years. So
this is not new. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. This is which sounds odd that we're doing this, but really I had 2 key points. So in these required actions that this emergency directive was sent out to all government agencies to get on this and submit a report within 10 days to the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. The 2 points here is that I wanted to pull out was of the 4 actions that they're requiring. The first one is they need to audit all their DNS records. And the second one is they need to change the DNS account passwords. And they recommend the use of password managers, which I know we've talked about a lot on the show here, John. So the U.S. government is recommending the use of password managers. Number 3, they want all these groups and agencies to add multi-factor authentication to DNS accounts. And not only multi-factor authentication, but to avoid SMS-based multi-factor authentication. And then the 4th one is just to monitor the certificate transparency log. So yet another point to an age-old problem, losing access to your account. Try password managers and multi-factor authentication. It's a good thing. Wow. Figure out how to incorporate it in your daily use and use it.
What's going to be the response when there is... I mean, I wonder if there's a ability to track, the adherence to this requirement within the 10 days, given the lack of, or given the current state of the shutdown.
Paid employees.
And also, like, what the government is not running their own name servers?
Well, I think they are, but they're secured by password 123, maybe. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I guess some of the challenges that you'd face, and you saw this when the Syrian Electronic Army were targeting environments, is they would just simply socially engineer the change of specific records. So, they'd make a phone call, pretend to be somebody, and they'd go, oh, yeah, sure, no problems. We'd change, like, this particular record for you. So, like, strengthening these processes and procedures is the right thing to do for every organization. So I guess the question becomes, the timing of it, which is probably a challenge, considering nobody's getting paid and nobody's working.
Yeah. Did you see what instigated this? Because I actually saw a FireEye article just last week. It was one of my potential topics about DNS tampering. I wondered if that was one of the sources of that.
The emergency directive actually references the FireEye and Cisco Talus. Is that the blog articles on this type of attack for more details? The emergency directive just kind of stuck to, here's what's happening, here's what you need to do as IT people that manage government infrastructure.
Okay, cool. So
that's all I got.
Okay. Well, hey, let me do my topic real quick, and then we'll get to Raj. So mine I chose because it is 2019, so we have to continue talking about cryptocurrency. I think it is a requirement. No, but so I don't know. Raj is internet famous for his beginning and promotion of the site No More Ransom, right? So This is ransomware because this is a strain of ransomware that was found in China targeting Bitcoin mining rigs. So most mining rigs that I know about, or at least I've read of, are the ant miners. And so this is a ransomware strain named H-Ant, and was first seen last August. So there's an article here about it, but I guess if you're going to ask for a ransom to be paid in Bitcoin, somebody who's doing Bitcoin mining might actually know how to acquire and have the wherewithal to transfer some Bitcoin.
Well, the only thing I'd say though is that we're seeing more ransomware samples use like Dash, for example. And and I guess it's like makes sense to go and target the miners because they're going to pay, and a lot of people actually aren't paying. So what was interesting was there was analysis done, and I think it was like it was on one of the competitors, and they said that on average the U.S. citizens are likely to pay 54% of the time, and I think those in Scandinavia was about 20%.
Ah,
and this was before WannaCry, right?
Okay.
Where everybody learnt that there's no point paying the ransom because you barely get the key back anyway.
I wonder what the value is of this. I didn't notice if they had a wallet ID in the screenshots. Might be interesting to look and see if there's been any transactions at whatever, if there is a wallet ID available.
But I mean, people are paying. That's the challenge, right? So when we published research on Ryuk 2 weeks ago, and in August, what we know is that they targeted, I think it was like 2 or 3 companies, not many, and the entry vector for that was not email, because now they're using things like RDP, which was, I believe, Samsam as well is using RDP as an entry vector, and they made $600,000 in August alone.
Whew.
It's not too shabby.
Not chump change.
No, not too shabby at all. So people that think that ransomware is dead probably need a rain check on that particular prediction.
As the market moves, so does the ransomware.
Well, I think the question you've got to ask yourself is it ransomware? And a good example of that was the Bank of Taiwan, when they got hit by an attack looking to steal money out of their environment. They used Hermes, and of course it's kind of connected, right? Because I talk about Riot, which was based upon Hermes code.
I saw that.
Yeah, and like a lot of people said, well, okay,
went straight to
it's North Korea. Yeah, of course it's North Korea, right?
Course.
Everything's North Korea now. It used to be China, but now it's North Korea. Well, and the interesting part was when we started to dig down into Ryuk, what we kind of saw was actually it was really an evolution of Hermes 2.1. And the fascinating part of that was the source code for Hermes was actually, I think it was available like 2017. So the chances are you're probably looking at a criminal group. And so like our view of what a threat is and what the purpose of a campaign is used to be simple. So for example, like if you're getting flooded with network traffic, it's a DDoS attack. If you're getting hit by a ransomware attack, it's an attempt to steal money. But I don't think that applies anymore because the attack on Bank of Taiwan was a distraction tactic meant to like get the IT teams to focus on the outbreak rather than the fact that they're stealing money through the back door. So what we're seeing, I reckon, is probably more of an adaptation. I mean, I think this one here is more than likely a ransomware campaign, but like WannaCry is a great case in point, which I don't even think that was ransomware at all. That was probably something else.
Just a pure feint or distraction or to cause damage.
Or a test.
Yeah. So so this is only in China, and they don't say how the ransomware initially got on. I mean, presumably these things they're all in pools, so they've got to have connectivity, but they're also not general purpose OSs. So it's probably a hacked version of the firmware, and they did say that Chinese security experts suggest that HANT comes hidden inside tainted versions of mining rig firmware. So, I mean, you'd have to wonder where are you getting? What's the provenance of your software for whatever you're updating? And then the other thing is, man, it seems spendy. So, a 10 Bitcoin ransom, $36,000.
Yeah.
When that we were just seeing data last month that given the crash of the overall Bitcoin price, people are mining farms or dumping inefficient hardware. The cost of a S9 miner isn't $36,000.
But didn't I read that the break-even price for Bitcoin mining is $8,063?
It varies per country. Eric had a great article a few weeks ago, Eric, that had an analysis of
by country.
Because depending on the price of electricity, and I forget, Eric, where was Venezuela or something like that was the cheapest payback, like $2,700 or something like that?
I found the article. Let's see, it was...
Oh, you're fast.
Google is fast.
I'm so tempted to say.
Yeah. Venezuela was $531 to mine a Bitcoin.
Wow.
A single
damn.
Bitcoin.
Way less even than and
so what you're basically saying is, if you want to buy Bitcoin miners, which might have an issue with potential like ransomware, you can probably use like Chinese eBay or something.
Yeah. they had pictures of them just being dumped in metal recycling. Who knows? It's not like I'm in China to see it firsthand.
Oh, maybe we can get
anyway, I thought this article would be kind of a little apropos for pulling you in there, Raj.
I enjoyed it.
All right, man, hit us with a good article. What you got for us?
So I thought we'd talk about the work that my team produced, which is
That's fantastic.
So actually earlier today we published details of Anatovia ransomware. And I guess people are probably getting tired of talking about ransomware. But what was interesting was they actually had some blacklists whereby if the logged in user was a specific user, they wouldn't actually install the ransomware.
Username,
yeah. So if it's logged in as test...
Did it happen to be J. King?
Funny enough.
Yeah.
And the attribution goes to not North Korea, but John. No, the list of users searched are La Virulera, Tester, Analyst, Lab, or Malware. So in other words, the belief is that if somebody's running this in a sandbox, and the chances are they're probably logged in as one of those accounts. I mean, I know it's probably not the best test, but it's still interesting. And the other part was there were a number of countries where they wouldn't actually install the ransomware. So we had the powerhouses of Moldova,
okay,
the remarkable country of Azerbaijan.
Oh,
absolutely. Uzbekistan, Syria, India, Egypt, Morocco, and Iraq.
Wow.
So, like, the assumption, and like this obviously is like a working assumption, is the chances are the threat actor is probably coming from one of these countries, if not all. Multiple people behind it, because of course you're not going to install ransomware or target people from the country where you live, because then the police are going to want to arrest you and can arrest you, which is
right.
which is a potential risk when you're conducting crime.
Is that common though?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, generally speaking, the way that it would work from a law enforcement perspective is, like cybercrime's a global issue, of course, and then identifying which law enforcement agency is going to take the lead case, they have to prove that there are victims within that country. So, for example, if you are based in the United Kingdom and you've targeted people in, I don't know, let's say pick a country in Azerbaijan, then why would the UK police go after you unless they have a specific case in point from the Azerbaijan police and so forth? So it's like an urban legend or urban myth. I don't know if it's an urban myth. I think it's a level of truth whereby people will say, well, okay, people from Russia wouldn't target people in Russia because they could get arrested.
Do you often see samples that have exclusions? I don't know.
Oh, all the time.
I'm not a big reverser.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Huh. That's cool.
Well, it's cool if you live in a country where you're in a blacklist.
So, note to self: change my name to lab or malware.
Well, you might need to because Anatovia seems to be tearing it up. I mean, it's only it's fairly new. I think the compile date was like end of January, but we've seen hundreds of infections across the world, and guess which country is the most targeted?
According to the graph at the top of the article, the United States.
Yeah, that is cheating.
That is cheating?
That is really cheating.
I'm sorry. Oh, hi, I'm John, by the way.
John, you seem to know an awful lot about this ransomware.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess the thing that you kind of alluded to it earlier is this one is asking for Dash instead of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and Dash is relatively new. I mean, we saw this, I guess, about 12 months ago with GandCrab. Oh my God, don't get me started on GandCrab. But, so we kind of saw this with GandCrab version 1. And the interesting part of version 1, of course, was the C2s, the command and control servers. So the command and control server for version 1 of GandCrab was... Do you know this one?
I don't have the article in front of me, so no, I do not.
You haven't read our blogs then. So this was nomoreransom.bit.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah. So they basically stuck their middle finger up at the industry and said, we know that you're trying to do something against ransomware and we're going to basically call you out. I think the other one was bleepingcomputer.bit as well. And of course, Bleeping Computer is a great website. Which produces free decryptors as well. Interestingly enough, the newest partner for No More Ransom. We just uploaded. They just uploaded 3 new decryptors on the No More Ransom website. So, GandCrab's been this kind of game of cat and mouse, and I think was it like last week? I think they released version 5.1 of GandCrab.
Wow! No, I didn't know that.
They are evolving and constantly adapting their ransomware.
No more ransom.bit got taken down.
Oh, so we should probably clarify. So no more ransom.bit is nothing to do with the project that we co-founded.
Oh, sorry, of course.
Right.
You're right. You should clarify that.
Right, yes.
I thought it was obvious, but yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
a spoofing site.
It was a command and control site that was used for the GandCrab version 1. But we co-founded an initiative with the Dutch police and Europol, the European Cybercrime Centre, AWS Barracuda, and Kaspersky Lab. And now we've got about 100 plus partners, 80 to 90 families that we decrypt. And the website, if you are ever hit by ransomware, is nomoreransom.org. Not to be mistaken for nomoreransom.bit, which was a command and control server used by the GandCrab group. Exactly.
You would go to this website to download decryptors. So if you get hit, you can come to this website, see if there's a decryptor for whatever strain of ransomware you got hit with, and get a free decryptor so you don't have to pay the Bitcoin or Dash or Monero or whatever they're asking for.
Yeah, and I think that's the objective here, right? Which was, we kind of sit in our ivory tower as a InfoSec community. We're actually not perceived as the friendliest community either. Did you see the Twitter storm that occurred between, I think, the VLC team and I think there were developers there, and they said, like, our perception of the infosec industry is that you're not friendly. We've got death threats and stuff. I mean, it's really like we've got a really negative perception out there, and that kind of shocked me. It didn't shock me, right? I mean, we work for McAfee and we get enough heat on social media, but like, you know, we sit there in our ivory towers and we say to people, don't pay, don't pay, don't pay. And I kind of thought to myself, and I said, well, but hang on, right? If somebody gets hit by ransomware and you've lost all of the pictures of your children,
it's totally worth $700, even for a chance.
Exactly. So we said, well, and I think that was really the objective. We said, well, there's got to be a better way. And it was like, it was funny. I always use like this. Anyone that's heard me ever talk, well, I'll always talk about Lord of the Rings. You remember the Gandalf reference where he says, "You shall not pass." Mm. And we kind of had that moment when we said, okay, look, we're going to have to do something. So we put together this website. We had 7 decryptors when we launched in 2016. We're like coming up close to 100 now. And so, yeah, you're right, Eric. You know, we want to give people another option, which is, do you pay criminals or do you lose your data? Well, that's not really a great choice. Can we have another option? And so No More Ransom has that in mind. And I think like the official figures are, we're like $30 million that we've prevented so far. And it hasn't cost the taxpayer a penny.
That's fantastic. It's a great, great community service.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, you know, it's important we focus on the positives that we do as an industry, because there's a lot of negativity, right? You know, there's an awful lot of negativity. And actually, there's some really great things happening in our industry and in our community. And I think we need to change the perception of what we do and who we are and how we communicate, rather than being this, well, you can see it for yourself, right? Look at the feedback that we've got from the wider IT industry and business. It's a bit somber, isn't it?
That is a kind of gloomy wrap to that. Anything else you want to say about this before we go on to something fun? All right, let's do it. Eric, what do you got fun for us tonight?
All right, so my something fun today is you're a developer, John. We've all written code over the years. There is a website I found that has programming fonts. So you can try out on a simple web page any number. I think there's, maybe 100 different fonts.
I'm clicking through it right now.
50 free fonts. So you can find what font you like to look at the most. So you can... They're all free, so you can download these fonts for your favorite code editor. And at the bottom, you can change the background of where the source code is sitting. You can make it light, dark, all sorts of different color schemes. That's the word I was looking for. Color schemes. You can change the spacing. You can change the code language that it's displaying. So you can hop around with try what different languages might look like. So anyways, I thought this was a cool website to kind of visually test out different fonts for all your code developing desires. Personally, I'm a fan of Source Code Pro.
Source Code Pro. Hey Eric, you know, I noticed as I come in here, you look and go find Source Code Pro. There doesn't seem to be like I know that there are people that are terribly interested in fonts. I have a hard time getting super excited. I guess there's some that are like really tight as I'm clicking through here that maybe I would actually have a negative reaction to. But for the most part, I think any one of half of these that I've clicked on I wouldn't even notice the difference between them. But sorry, the thing I wanted to bug you on, what's the default language that they're displaying on this webpage?
C.
No.
Swift?
No.
Ruby.
I'm sure.
Oh, it's Python.
No. Yeah, I think there's a reason why JavaScript is the top of the combo box. All right, that is cool. That is cool.
Yeah,
that is cool. And you can download any one of these, huh?
Okay. Yeah. No, something else I can bug you about, because I stare at half these fonts and only about 3 or 4 I would like that one.
Oh, really?
About 90% of them, I'm like, this would bother me.
So what you're saying is you have taste and I do not. Okay. I know. I think that's probably fair. That's probably fair. All
right.
right, man. All right. So my fun thing, and then we'll let Raj do his fun thing here. But so, did you? Okay, I'm doing like old stuff, right? I think you told me last week.
Is this one from '83?
The article is technically not. The article is from 2019, which is this year.
Well, that's a start.
But it explains the principles behind the Sound Blaster card. Did you have a Sound Blaster?
Yeah, I think I
did
as well, yeah.
when I built my own computer.
Yeah, everyone had it. I mean, not everyone. Everyone our
age. That was the thing to get. Yeah, that was the thing to get.
Oh, actually, can I mock myself? Like, it tends to be one of my things, but so I'm going through and like cleaning out my office at home, and
I know where this is going.
I almost like took a picture and posted it onto Twitter, and I probably should, but I think I actually shredded it. But I found a $449 receipt from 1993 that was my purchase of my very first CD-ROM and Sound Blaster card.
Oh, so you didn't actually even get a CD writer. You actually got
Oh god, no. Writers didn't come for years. No, this was a Sound Blaster. I think it was an Egghead. Did you ever have? Probably didn't have Eggheads in the UK, but it was an Egghead computer receipt that I had in a computer folder. I had a folder in my filing cabinet that said computer. It had a whole bunch of old receipts. One of them was for I think it was $449 Sound Blaster card. Anyway,
and a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Wow.
And anyway, so this goes through. I thought this was cool because it talks about like how does the audio get onto the card? You know, because it can be direct DAC or it can be
right.
DMA, et cetera, et cetera. So and there's circuit diagrams, and anyway, you scroll down through this, and there's I don't know. It's just kind of fun. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I don't actually, you know, I don't know too much. I can't like look at that and go, oh, okay, I could go build that circuit on my, you know, breadboard. But anyway,
back in the old days when you had to actually move your jumpers, you had to
dip switch, set
the dip switch or the jumpers yourself. You had the little piece that would pop off the two poles, and you'd set it down depending on which.
Yep.
Oh yeah, good old days when you actually built your own computers.
Well, seeing as I built my last computer about 1.5 years ago, yes, the good old days. All right. Anyway, check it out. This was a cool article, I thought. All right, it doesn't have to be an article, Raj, but cool. you gotta tell us something fun.
So I'm about to make your life easy.
Awesome. I like an easy life.
So, that's what I love about technology. It makes life easier. It actually takes away like a manual process that you may not want to do and automates it and gives you time back in your life.
Absolutely.
So I'm really pleased to share with you some news that Nike announced earlier.
Oh, okay. The camera company?
Nike.
Oh, Nike. I thought I said Nikon. Okay. I can't understand you. You know.
You're showing your lack of sporting insight there, but you do realize.
I'm like camera what?
Camera. So Nike have announced the Adapt platform. So it launches with the Adapt BB, which expands to the lifestyle categories in 2019 by offering you, wait for this, a smartphone-controlled powered lacing system.
What?
So
I watched one of the videos on this earlier today.
So basically, there's a motor with a single wire system with a DC motor, and has a smartphone guts with include sensors as well. So now you don't have to worry about tying your shoelaces. It's an IoT-enabled capability through your smartphone.
I can push a button on my phone and my shoelaces will tighten.
Absolutely.
That is something I did not know that I needed in my life.
It's kind of like, you remember the film WALL-E where they were all up in space, not moving?
Yeah.
We are moving faster as a society there than we ever thought possible.
Why don't you bring your hover chair over near me?
I can't tie my shoelaces. I'm too tired. Press this on my phone.
Wow.
Looking forward to the no more ransom decryptor that allows me to finally take my shoes off after them getting permanently tied, pinching my feet
That
off.
is an incredible attack vector. I can see ATR doing some new research.
Eric knows how to think. He's
the mind of a criminal.
Thinker. He's a devious thinker. Okay, no,
that's awesome.
That is cool. I did not know such a beast existed.
Yeah, you got to go watch the video. Maybe we'll link either to the Nike website or the YouTube video on the self-tying shoes. That's awesome.
Okay, well done, Raj. Okay, hey, thanks for joining us tonight, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. You're in my room still, so
I am. So you can kick me out, and I'll go. I'll go.
Before we drop off, Raj, do you want to tell people where to find you and a little bit about your podcast?
Oh, that's very nice of you. So currently I'm in my hotel room with Jon in California, but I know that wasn't the question. So I am on Twitter, Raj_Samani, and we have a threat-related podcast, Christian Beek, myself, Lee Munson and the team, which is Comrade Sidebar. Kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Comrade Cyber.
And Comrade is spelt with a K.
All right, we'll throw a link in.
I've enjoyed listening to the first 3 episodes so far.
Oh, thank you. You're very kind. I'll the check's in the post, yeah?
Fantastic. All right. Have a good night, Eric.
Well, that was fun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, Raj. Bye.
Bye.